I think you're muted. There you go.
Classic Swamp Rose, but welcome. How are my two guests this morning, Jeff H. and 12A?
I'm great. I'm great. Good to see you guys. Good to see you.
Judging by your outfit, Jeff, you have nice weather where you are today.
No, I just always wear Hawaiian shirts. I don't know why.
That's pretty good.
Hey,
It
look at that
started with my
masked
brother.
man.
The
Look at
what?
that masked man right there.
Yeah, this was a last minute thing. I was like, oh man, I can't wear the same shirt I was wearing last night on 12 gauges. So I was gonna look like I.
Yeah, I know. It's you gotta think about wardrobe change when you're doing YouTube lives. That's true.
Right.
How
Yeah,
about you this morning, 12 gauge? You having a good morning? Nice weather where you are?
yeah, it's just pretty good. Pretty good this morning. Just ordered some guitar strings and trying to get this guitar up and running so Jeff can give me some lessons so that we
That's
can
right.
start
That's right.
jamming together.
You guys can start making our own custom intro music for all of us.
Yeah.
That would be
There you
nice.
go. There you
Yeah.
go.
Wow, we have a great crowd today. We've got good. Nina's here too. Let me just bring in Nina on stage. Hi, Nina.
Hello, Nina.
Hey,
Hey, what's
Nina.
going on?
Not much. How are you today?
I'm good.
Good. Is the weather nice where you are?
Oh, yeah, I'm in Alabama, so we're going to melt into the ocean.
Yeah. Oh, and we got Twizzle here today. And Christy, thanks for coming and managing. Say hi to understand Michelle. I think I got everyone. Oh, and Mike's here. Nice to see you. So there's two things I wanted to go over today, and I'll just kind of go over them with the live chat so that you can leave your comments pertaining to them, and also so our guests can just kind of be ready. So the first segment I'm going to do is I thought I'd just take a little bit of a look at Cy Ray, and it was because we did sort of a deep dive on Cy Ray last night in Robert's live stream, and the chat brought up some different things I didn't know about him. So I just pulled up a couple things, and I thought since I never really talked about him on this channel, I'd just go on the record, say a little bit about Cy Ray and his testimony pertaining to the Idaho4 case. And then after that, the bulk of this live stream, I wanted to do Linda Lane by the timestamp. So I have a list of timestamps, but it's certainly small. So if you guys want to add your timestamps, and I mean, I figured we'd live stream for like an hour, or if the timestamp thing is really interactive, we'll go as long as you guys want to go, so it's up to you. So that sounds good. I'll bring up my
Sounds good.
Cy Ray presentation. Let me bring this up. So the first thing is that I really wanted to take a closer look at Cy's YouTube channel. But before we do that, I thought I would bring up this description. I feel like I hear a chihuahua in the background.
Oh, it's coming from over here. It's my number one fan.
Is it a chihuahua?
No, it's a little poodle looking dog. I don't even know what kind of dog it is. It's just a yapper.
I have a
Do I
I have
need
a
to
phone
mute
app that
myself?
translate.
And do I
I
need
have a
to mute myself? Is it really loud?
No. I thought it was
Okay.
just a distinctive little dog bark. Yeah.
Yeah, my
No.
phone app that translates dog bark. It says it's saying Yo quiero Taco Bell, so I can understand why you thought it was
Yeah.
a Chihuahua.
I think this dog is Czech. So, I don't think he'd like Taco Bell.
Uh,
Your dog is Czech, did you say?
It has a hell of a temper.
Look at you see 12 gauges new toy. Gonna
What?
get
Let me
that thing
see.
going.
Oh, wow. Well, we can't really see it. 12. Show us the.
Show it.
Let
Yeah,
me
it's
take
gonna
this
be
off the screen.
future rock star. You saw it here. You saw it here second because you saw it yesterday on his show. But actually, I got one too. Actually,
So show it again. I didn't see it. You were on little screen. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. That's beautiful.
Actually,
too.
can I do this for Nina? I bet she could recognize.
You are not right.
You did say Alabama.
There
Right?
you go. There you
Yes,
go.
but that was pretty awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. That's
Thank
an
you
awesome
for taking
song,
us
isn't
to
it?
Redneck Riviera. We appreciate that. I'm just kidding. I think
That's
the
right. That's right.
Alabama, the Panhandle. I'm a Florida girl at heart. So Yeah. So anyway,
I find if I'm around like three people that have Southern accents, in about 10 minutes I have a Southern accent. I don't know what it is. I don't know if anybody else has that phenomenon. It just happens. I don't know what it is. It just comes upon me real quick, like, and I don't know. I can't do nothing about it. So
that happens to me when I visit New York. I'll say that. I adapt that accent pretty darn quick.
yeah.
Sorry, now my dogs are barking in the background.
All right, I got next. Okay.
But I'll have to look into that, Jeff, the app that actually translates dog barking.
I do have an app that will tell me when I sit in the backyard. It'll tell me what birds I'm hearing, and then like just this morning, there was a Carolina wren was in the backyard, and then once it identifies it, it gives you like these sounds of wrens that you can play. So I have conversations from my phone, playing the sound of the bird to them. You can hear them responding, and you can hear them responding faster and faster as you go. It's pretty wild. I have no idea what they're saying, but
That's amazing. It's like a modern day bird call. Hi, puppy. My dogs. Oh, and somebody's asking you, are you familiar with the Collins guitars?
No, I never heard of that one. I never heard. Let me see.
Mike says Florbama. He gets it. He gets it. The Redneck Riviera. Those who know.
Collins are custom made guitars. That sounds cool. If you have an extra one, you want to send it to me, I'll take it. Sure.
Okay. All right. So you guys, stop it, Rocco. You guys probably have your own opinions on Cy-Ray. You've probably done your own homework on him as a source. So I'm probably not telling you anything you don't know. But like I said, I haven't presented it on my channel before. So I'm just going to read you this brief bio that comes from ZX Corporation. And then we're just going to go to his YouTube channel because I think that that's really where you get an idea of who this man is. So let me talk. So I'm just going to read this to you real quick. It says Cy-Ray is the founder of ZX Corporation that led to RF engineering for 10-2 technologies. Cy's entrepreneurial career with ZX began after serving 20 years in law enforcement, where he spent time as a SWAT operator, homicide sergeant, and directing fugitive missions. Some of his work has been featured on several episodes of 48 Hours, 2020, the Discovery Channel, and Dateline, showcasing his investigative and technological expertise. Cy spent some time in Afghanistan as a field advisor for an undercover team targeting improvised explosive devices, or IED cells. Cy established ZX in 2014 as a one-stop shop for law enforcement as it pertains to cellular geolocational mapping, analysis, and training. The software he designed currently leads the industry in geolocational mapping of RF data. While devoting his career to bringing advanced training in investigative technologies to law enforcement, Cy is subject matter expert in the field of geolocational mapping and identifying target sets. Cy's geolocational expertise in the field of radio frequency, RF, has advanced into RF engineering and detection devices with 10-2 technologies during the past 2 years. His accomplishments include engineering RF drone detection series sensors using the NFL in the 2015. Sorry, I'm distracted because somebody's coming to get the dogs. 2015 Super Bowl and engineering RF tracking and security technologies for law enforcement and military applications. In his free time, Cy enjoys spending time with his family's ranch in southern Arizona and penning early drafts of his book that he intends to have published. So that's just briefly telling who he is. And then I just thought, like I said, it'd be cool to pull up his YouTube channel. And I found something on his community page, which I think you guys would think is a little bit relevant to what we know Cy for.
Is that address, was at the bottom of the Cy's page that you were showing? Is that his office address? That's in Alexandria, Virginia. I used to work right near there.
It's a beautiful area. Yeah, Alexandria, Virginia. Yeah, it's interesting. So he, I don't know, maybe that's just where the corporation was formed. I don't know. But that's an interesting question. Why Virginia? So let me get his YouTube channel pulled up. And don't forget, in the live chat, we are moving on to Linda Lane, like our interactive part of the chat, in just a few minutes. So if you have specific timestamps you want us to go over, I've got a list going, and we're just going to start chronologically. And yeah. So the name of Sai's YouTube channel is called, let me get it right, Socialite Crime Club. And I'm on his community tab. So let me just show you the logo. So and his handle is at Socialite Crime Club, which somebody pointed out in our live chat last night. It is, if this is our kind of our, I don't want to call it a hobby, but it's kind of one of our passions, podcasting about true crime. So if I can see where Sai gets into this with the line of work he's in, it's probably a lot of his interest. And somebody pointed out that's probably why he does this in his spare time. But this video I'm going to show you, it's a 1-minute clip. I thought it was interesting because it shows how vital what he does is for prosecution. So it's where we can put some validity in, or we can put a lot of trust into his testimony, because he has about 99 times done something similar, pretty amazing work for the prosecution. So I'm just going to play this little 1-minute story he tells. Make sure it shows up before I hit play. Okay. And then I'm going to get you guys' reaction to this, please.
Case coming up.
Really?
We do have a Syracuse case. It was a deli shop she worked for, and then she filed some type of a complaint, some type of like workman's comp.
Right.
They killed her.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
They killed her in the deli shop. They load her into a car and they go to dump her somewhere. And we're tracking the phones. And what's really crazy about that case is they get about halfway to the dump site and they realize we have the phone still. So you guys have a really nice winery outside of, in between Albany and Syracuse. They have wine barrels in the front of where you pull into the driveway. They put their cell phones on top of the wine barrels and then went and dumped her body and then came back. So we can see the phone going to the winery and stopping. We get the video. And that perfect video of these two idiots getting out of their car, putting their phones, and then taking off. But one of them lost his hat when they were dumping her in the woods. So the next morning he realizes, shit, I lost my hat. So he goes back to the crime scene with his phone.
Let me pause that. Hold on. Pause. And actually, while we're talking, I'm just going to pull up Sai's picture. And oops. Oh my gosh.
We have a Syracuse case coming up.
So you guys know who we're talking about. All right. So, I mean, I guess I'll just go right down the line. 12. I wanted to stop with you. What did you think when you heard that little blurb about what Sai does?
I think it's quite interesting that you're able to see the cell phone moving across the crime scene, and the fact that the individual left his hat and returned back with the cell phone. It just shows that the sloppiness sometimes that criminals get when they're trying to cover up the crime. I liked his story.
Yeah, that was.
He seemed very knowledgeable on his stuff. I mean, he seemed very, very thorough.
And what about you, Jeff?
Yeah, no, I think that's. I mean, you can see it's just the way he's talking about it. He's got a passion for this stuff, just like I think all of us in the YouTube community, the true crime community, have for solving a mystery, getting to the truth, using technology and deductive reasoning and all that goes into that. So I have, I look forward to the trial because I mean it's going to be like a tennis match, expert against expert, and trying to figure out. And I also do find it interesting that didn't he say that he kind of leaves it open? I think he said he reserves the right to be wrong on what he's kind of postulating right now, which I think it's a good, honest stance. But it also just makes me think is like, well, as they start talking about it, as we start to learn more, when you learn more, you know more, and then you make different conclusions, perhaps. So. It's just interesting, what way it's going to go. But it is, I'm curious to know why. How did he end up on the defense side? Because he's been on the prosecution side all previous experience, right? They just got to him first, or I wonder how that came about. How did he get involved in the first place? What was the initial contact?
That's interesting. I wonder if AT reached out to him. I just wrote that down because that's what I was under the impression is they had sought after him. Or I'm sorry, I take that back. what I heard, and I shouldn't be repeating things that, I don't know exactly where it came from, but I think he actually reached out to them. And Twizzle would stick with probably no. Twizzle, did he reach out to the defense? And while I'm asking that, Nina, we didn't get your reaction yet. What did you think of hearing Sai's?
Well, I think that it also shows that there's so many mistakes that can be made during a crime like this. I mean, who would think about, well, we'll put it on top of the barrels, but they don't think about that the video could see the phones. And I think that, when a crime like this is occurring, there's so many mistakes that can happen and nobody thinks about that. And everybody needs to realize there's no perfect murder. But talking about what Jeff said, as far as him being on the defense now, as far as I know, I think I'm like you, Kiki, that they sought after him, and I think it says a lot that this is his first time to be on the defense, but I also think that there's ulterior motives for that too.
All right. You want to share your thoughts about those?
Well, I mean, I know that he doesn't need all the publicity or anything like that because, he's wealthy and all that. But I mean, come on, what better way to get your name out there than to switch over from prosecution to defense? So there's number one. And it's the biggest case ever, well, not ever, but you know what I'm saying. I mean, so of course you're going to be involved in it and stuff like that. So, I mean, I think that it puts him back in the limelight because he hasn't been in the limelight for a while. I mean, how many people really knew who he was, to be honest, until we started researching him for this case?
I'd be curious to know what his subscribers on his YouTube channel, what they were prior to him getting involved with the Idaho case.
We might
not that that's a determining factor, but it would be interesting to know, get a sense.
It's weird. It's not. Where's his statistics? Right here. Wow, he's right at where I'm at for stats. That's funny. I'm right. I actually have close to 4 million, but I keep about 250 to like 400,000 in views, like wavering back and forth to members only. But there's like a graph right there. I guess you can't click on it. Never mind. I don't know if you guys can see what I was clicking on. I should have checked.
Yeah, it was showing up.
Good. But usually there's like a graph right there. But that would be an interesting statistic. And like when there are creators apps, like you can click on and they'll tell you the trends and the channels that you're looking at. I don't have any of them, but it's definitely possible because I could name a couple of them if you're interested. You could probably figure.
Yeah, they act like it's like a time machine to go back and see what channel. Well, that's maybe different what you're talking about. You're talking about like tracking stats of a YouTube channel. Yeah. I just would find it interesting.
I do too, and I agree with one of the things that 12 brought up that I thought was interesting, and you picked up on it too, 12, is the hat. He left the hat, and he realized how important it was for him to come back the next day and get it. And I'm not trying to, I'm just saying, psychologically, what might that remind us of? It was just interesting. And it
reminds me, I'm sorry.
No.
It reminds me of when I heard that, it reminded me of the sheath, like early on in the investigation, we heard that supposedly his phone pinged at 9:21 the next day or that morning. So, and then we heard it wasn't correct. But when I heard that the first time, I thought, well, damn, he came in to get the sheath back, because I thought, that at that point that he was guilty, of the murder and everything. This was very early on. So I was thinking, well, he just went back to the crime scene to get the sheath, So that's what I thought about the hat scenario also.
I thought the same thing too. And when you were talking, Jeff, I was thinking to myself, or both of you kind of touched base on it actually, was, the mistakes that were made. even when you're being, these are people who are conscious of the fact that their cell phone is being tracked. And you mentioned, actually 12, you mentioned it was interesting how they could actually see the cell phone moving. You don't think that from what we're talking about with cell phone tower tracking. We're like, oh, maybe he was, west of Moscow, south of Genesee. But in this instance, they knew like exactly how the cell phone was moving, like on the wine barrel and where it stopped. So that's interesting that the pings were so precise with this case and that they're not with the case that we're talking about. I thought that was interesting. And also it just goes to show even with all the meticulous planning, as we've heard from other FBI agents before, you've got to bat 1,000 to get away with a crime. And, even people who are conscious of that, it's very hard. Anyway, there is one more 1-minute clip on this community tab. And I thought we'd go ahead and play it too. It's from CrimeCon. So this was just posted 2 days ago at the big CrimeCon this year. And it's only 15 seconds. Let's take a look.
I should do an episode of Bad Lip Reading. Here's what Carrie is saying.
Shown to a jury.
Hello, I have a hairless
social
dog.
evidence
Okay.
pieces.
I thought it
And
was
then we also
too
get into
calculated. Hairless dog. Yeah. All right. Well, that's size huge. I know. Sorry.
He has a hell of a sense of humor, that's for sure.
I have to say, I think that he does look like a really, so he comes across trustworthy. He comes across normal, whatever that word means. And I think that he's an excellent witness for anyone who's hired him. We've got some great comments too. Let me just pull a couple of these up. Let's see what Tax Max Fax Thunderclap says. He explained data in a way that my partner and I were able to consume and understand, which ultimately allows us to put our own opinions to task and really understand what we claimed we believed.
That reminds me of Forrest Gump. Didn't Forrest say, "Mom always had a way of explaining things so I could understand them"? It's just not that you're sounding like that. The person who commented, but that just brought that to mind. But I agree. When somebody puts it, when it's all in like just like when YouTubers are talking about the documents that are posted with the legalese and the stuff that lawyers understand more than I do. Yeah, I feel like, oh man, just put it in some basic language that I can understand. So
No, I totally agree. And that's what's nice when we have like people who have that criminal justice or legal background, because you feel like you're actually getting the breakdown. Okay, Swamp Rose, that's because on the other case, Cy had data that they did not in this case at that time.
what do you think with the stuff that they claim to not have? Do you think it's that, I mean, it seems to me like if they don't have something and they should have it by law, is it just that the judge isn't stepping up to lay the hammer down? Or is it that they're not truly required? Because, I mean, me personally, if I was a prosecution, I'd only hand over that which is required. Why hand over any more than you have to? I mean, the defense is clearly trying to knock out anything that you're proposing. So the desire to help the defense side is obviously not there, I also even picture like if the prosecution were to say, "Here, Han, here's everything and the kitchen sink," don't you think they'd get a little call maybe from Steve Gonsalves saying, "What are you guys doing? Are you just trying to throw it all away?" It's like it's a chess match here to some extent, and you have to. They're going to be strategic. You've got to be strategic. It's just how it works. And the prosecution even has it harder because the burden of proof is on them. The defense doesn't have to say a word. They can. So, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean,
came to mind.
what were you saying, 12? I'll go after you.
Hey, Jeff, what you're talking about, the discovery, they try to wait till the last possible minute, and you're right. The judge is supposed to step up and, eventually say, hey, enough is enough. You either get it all over there or by this deadline, it's not going to be admissible in court. So you either get the discovery to the defense or, by this deadline, you can't use it. You can't use what you're holding on to because both sides
Right.
equally are supposed to have that discovery to be able to, to process that evidence to defend or to try to convict either way, because if they don't have it, I mean, it's a mute point. You can't use it like, well, here's my ace card at the last minute. That's what I mean, that's not professional. And, discovery is very important when it comes to these motions to compel.
Does any I don't know if anybody's familiar with the details of like the Jodi Arias case, because didn't the prosecutor during that case, I can't remember how it worked out, but he was able to bring up these gas cans that Jodi Arias bought so that she didn't have to stop at gas stations and be seen on camera. And it was kind of a surprise during the trial that he brought him up. And I don't know what loophole or what the defense did maybe that allowed him to do that. I think maybe they had the receipts from all the purchases she had done, but they didn't go into detail about what they were for at the gas station. Maybe that's it. So he saw it and he saw, wait a minute, she's talking about 3 gas cans over here, but she purchased 4. And that's enough gas to get you without stopping for gas at a gas station. So maybe that's what it was. Maybe he brought it up in the middle of trial. It seemed like a gotcha moment. It's like, but you've got 4 cans. And then she tried to make up some like, well, yeah, I bought the 4th one, but I didn't need it and I returned it. And it's like, well, do you have a receipt for returning it? They even brought in the woman that worked at Walmart. No, she never returned it. It's like, so I don't know how gotcha moments happen, like that.
Well, when you see those pictures of the state and the defense attorney walking around the house and through the house, you remember those pictures where it showed Ann and Bill Thompson around, looking around? Well, they walked the crime scene. They know a lot of the evidence that's already been documented, so they're just waiting to get that evidence to the defense. But also, the lawyer doesn't ask a question they already don't know the answer to. So whenever they're asking a question, they already know what they want to hear. What the answer they're looking for, rather than try to confuse the witness or something of that nature.
Nina, before I go, did you? I wanted to just check with you if you had anything you wanted to add before I started blabbing my mouth.
Well, for Jeff, Jeff, life is like a box of chocolates.
You never know what you're gonna get.
For you.
As far as them having the not having some of the stuff, I don't think that they would. I hope they wouldn't say that they have something they don't have. I mean, that would just be stupid. I think that it'll all. I'm like Jeff, and Gage up there. They're not going to put everything out on the table right now. I mean. Yeah. There's going to be a lot of stuff that we find out, not until trial.
I mean, it's the judge should have already set his foot down, Jeff, like you were saying. The judge should have already said, hey, by this date, if you don't have this evidence over to the defense, I'm going to start imposing sanctions on you, whatever those sanctions might be. But for whatever reason, he hasn't done that. And usually, I mean, there's very little he can sanction them with, but at least he could speed up the process, so to speak,
Yeah, when I compare like watching the Chad Daybell trial, that lawyer is like, I'm making a decision right now. I know they're in the trial, in the heat of it, so maybe that's the difference. Maybe this is pregame. It's kind of like boxers, when they're nose to nose and the fight hasn't started yet, but they're. So I don't know. But that judge seems to take action and, I don't know.
I haven't actually watched the Daybell case, but I have heard the same thing. So just back to the original question that you posed, Jeff, that I wrote down is why doesn't the judge force them to hand over things? And so we have, somebody put up in the comments, Gia explained it well. And so I just will parrot what Gia has said to me, is basically the times where Anne has talked about it in court. she hasn't gotten to the very specific thing that she needs. So you have to get that specific thing and then pose sanctions on that specific thing. So you can't just say, I'm posing sanctions because all the cast reports aren't in. It has to be like, I'm posing, again, my non-lawyer, non-legal way of talking. They'll have to say, we're posing sanctions on this specific report, on this specific, it has to be specific. So they haven't posed that specifics yet, not saying that she isn't going to, but it hasn't been done yet. And once she poses that to the judge, then the judge can impose the sanction. But it hasn't been done yet. And he kind of even turned to her and asked her, what you want me to do. And I think that that's the cue to know if she's going to put the sanctions on it. And again, I'm sorry in the chat if I'm getting that wrong, but I wanted to kind of just parrot what we've had on the show before. And then there was this comment right here by Needs and Z's. Not only does discovery require it, but it's required to have accurate data to even arrest someone. It is not about strategy. So, yeah, I don't know about that Jodi Arias case. Like if they had physical gas cans that they didn't tell them about, I mean, I do feel like that shouldn't be allowed. I mean, all the evidence has to be turned over. I don't think you can. I mean, if you find something new, then you have the right to amend you have the right to amend the evidence, is what Gia said. Because I asked her, I'm like, well, if they find out that something's different, does it mean they have to throw away the whole PCA? And she says, no, they would make an amendment to it. So I don't know. And I'd love to know what the live chat has to say. And you got any thoughts on what I just said? Hold on. Here we go. Twizzlestick says, AT told us a lot more at the last hearing than most people realize. It's kind of mind-blowing. Yeah, I mean, so that, add this to the stage. That was pretty much our thoughts. If you guys have more comments about that in the live chat, go ahead and leave them. And I think that unless you guys have more to say, we'll just go ahead and move on to the Linda Lane stuff we were going to do. You guys feel like doing a little deep dive into Linda Lane with me?
Oh, sure, definitely. Let's do it.
All right. So I've got Jeff's channel pulled up in the background here. So we're at about 40 minutes. Let's do this for about 20 minutes. And I hope you guys like this segment. If you have other stamps you want us to look at in the chat, let me know. And Jeff, you know these timestamps. So if you know of a popular timestamp I skip over, just go ahead and tell me. I only have like 7 of them. So.
Yeah. Although I got to tell you, I really do, because a lot of people comment on these videos with timestamps and things. Yep. There's only, those ones at around 407, 421. That's my main focus is really there. That's where I've really looked at. Everything else from Linda Lane, I just personally feel like it's hard to prove what you're hearing is either somebody truly in distress, or whether they're drunk and they're college students, whether they're yelling across the quad to like, hey, come over, we're playing Twister,
Absolutely.
Green.
I mean, there's just no way of knowing. And I mean, I think one of the reasons is last time when we did it, I wanted to make it into like a video for my channel, but everything was so long and spread out. We just spent so much time in it. I figured we could redo it right now. I could get a larger panel with a bunch of reactions and we'll just watch these clips, and I'm using you guys for my next video. How about that? Anyway, it was a joke, you guys. I'm sorry.
That's a good. Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. I'm sorry. I was just reading what LA said. She said I should write a song about Linda Lane. That would be good.
That's pretty funny, actually.
Once 12 Gauge has got a little guitar playing under his belt, we'll do a song together about Linda Lane.
If you're dragging, get you some Celsius blue raspberry.
I haven't tried the blue raspberry. I haven't had a Celsius in a long time.
Sponsorship.
That will be provided by 12 Gauge. Now to the source.
I know. What did you just do? I don't think we're allowed to sponsor things. All right. I was just reading that too. I can't believe we haven't.
That was a tutorial. He was just doing a tutorial on.
Oh, hello from Corpus Christi, Texas.
Wow.
But it's nice there today on the Gulf of Mexico. All right.
Texas people, right? Yeah, I'm from Texas also, Veronica.
You are? What part of Texas?
Currently I'm in West Texas.
Oh, you live there now. Wow.
Yes, I did live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area for a lot of years.
I've never been to Texas. It's such a big state. If somebody were to want to go visit Texas, where would you tell them to go?
San Antonio.
San Antonio. I
Yeah,
was thinking you were going to say the Alamo.
yeah, San Antonio. San
But
Antonio
check,
is a beautiful city.
you got
A
to
lot
check
of
out the
heritage.
basement at the
Yeah,
Alamo.
a lot, a lot of history there. A lot of replicas of old buildings and things of that nature.
Interesting.
Actually, I
That
like going to Alabama, Florida, Pensacola area.
Pensacola.
I love that area right there.
Yeah, I almost went to the University of West Florida when I got out of high school, and it's in Pensacola, but I was going to live in a place called Gulf Breeze, and it's like an island right off of
I
Pensacola.
know exactly where that is. Yeah,
Beautiful, isn't it? Yeah,
yeah.
but it's not. I like you go a little farther south Florida when you're young. There's a lot more action, so I never ended
Mhm.
up on the Panhandle as beautiful as it is.
I think there's a song in there somewhere about drinking a Pepsi Cola at Pensacola. I got to work on that. That'll be our next song, 12 gauge.
There you go. There you go.
Guys are getting a lot of inspiration from this live stream. Class.
We got to give you your cut because
Yeah, well,
this is where the magic's happening right now. This is where our inspiration's coming from.
everybody will call our first album the Kiki album.
Yeah,
Nice.
the Kiki album.
It's better
Hey
than
Kiki, before you start, I got a question for you. You know, in your intro, who are those two guys that are saying Swamp Rose?
oh, let me take this down. So that's what we call a YouTube FU. And for the guys that are watching, they know what I'm talking about. So that's Marky and Atozi. I've been fans of theirs for years, but I had a little disagreement with Atozi, and I'm cool with Marquis. But the fact is they both decided to use my name and likeness and expose it to 2 million people. So I use their name and likeness as well. And thank you for the
Oh,
free
okay.
publicity. Anyway, that's all I have to say about that.
I always wonder about that. Like, who are these two guys? I mean,
Yeah, they're both great. And as far as I'm saying, I'm totally joking. I love both of these guys. They're probably some of the most talented reaction creators out there. They're not only that, but I think that we underestimate the service that reaction creators give on YouTube. They are the modern independent journalist. And even though I do have my issues with Atozi, I'm going to be honest, he exposes people that are ripping off the regular person online, and his work, Marquee too, their work exposing TikTok scam artists is amazing. And so even though I'm jokingly saying I'm giving them, a YouTube middle finger, I actually like both of them. And it's just a disagreement we had. I felt that Atozi misrepresented me to make content, and he didn't tell my story correctly on purpose to make his video more sensationalized. Now, Marquis did a great job covering it. But again, Marquis left out the most important reasons why I made my video. And because they didn't do that, all their little minions that follow them didn't do their homework either. And they just followed what they said. So it caused me a lot of grief. And it also caused, it caused some issues with another person on my channel. And I want to be careful about what I'm saying. That's why I'm stumbling over my
right,
words. But
right.
basically, there were some racial undertones that came from some of the comments that were left, and it just turned into a big nightmare. So I, again, use their name and likeness to promote myself because they did it to me. And yeah, great. I wonder what that's going to happen. I wonder what's going to transpire from me saying this.
Right, right.
Doubt they're watching. So I wanted to start with this video because this is one of the reasons why I started covering Linda Lane again, Jeff. I thought this was so cool. And you ended up taking noises, for those who haven't seen this, looped from the Banfield to Linda Lane. So whereas when we thought the audio might be off, this actually shows us that this audio could be real. Did I explain that right?
Yeah, and synchronized. You know that it's not. It's judging by these horns, it's less than 1 second. Out of sync.
Yeah, I think this is a phenomenal, and it puts a little validity into what we're looking at. So we're going to play it. I'll play it. It's really short. It's 20 seconds. We're going to play it twice.
Hey, is that beer? Is that beer in your hand? Yeah, I'm 21. Hey, is that beer? Is that beer in your hand? Yeah, I'm 21. Hey, is that beer? Is that beer in your hand? Yeah, I'm 21.
Play it one more time. Ooh, go right into the.
Hey, is that beer? Is that beer in your hand? Yeah, I'm 21. Hey, is that beer? Is that beer in your hand? Yeah, I'm 21. Hey, is that beer? Is that beer in your hand? Yeah, I'm 21.
Jeff, after I heard that the other night, it kind of like made me think of something, and I don't know if they're related because the timestamp is different. But after I saw that, we were watching this one, and there's like a beep in it too, just like that. And I'm wondering if they're related. Like, are they the same? I think it comes up.
The beat. Say it again. I'm sorry. I was plugging in a hard drive.
Right there is around the same time.
So what was it? What was the time on the beeping that we were listening to prior? I think was it 2:43. So that camera right there was 12 something, right? 12 gauge.
I'm distracted by the chat and everything. I don't know. Can you ask me that again?
No. I was just joking around because I was talking about the time on the timestamp for the car was 12 something.
It was 12. Here, I got it right here. Hold on a second. It's 3:23:41.
But
is that the
actually,
car?
So ask your question again, Kiki, because I'm not sure I even caught your question.
There we go.
You said how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Tootsie Pop? Is that the question? Was that, that's one we must answer before this live stream's over, though.
Twizzle says bye. All right. So to answer your question, what time are the beeps? Did you already get the answer to that question?
No, I think they were 2:43. So.
Only about that.
Yeah, because I think I titled the video "Same Car Horn Honks at 2:43."
Why can't
Yeah,
I
2:43.
comparing the sound of Elantras? Where is it?
2:23.
Well, it should be on the observations of 13:20, 13:30 Linda Lane observations.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. I'm back.
There
Right here. Okay, so 2:54 to 2:53 a.m. and then
2:54. Yeah.
And then the BMW. Is there a timestamp on that one?
Yeah, go ahead and click it. It's on the image that's on the left side. It's 12:44:02. See in the bottom right corner.
Oh, okay. So. There you go. That solves that.
See, I always try to put that because when I see videos of stuff like this, it's cropped and doesn't have the timestamp. I feel like, man, you're leaving out something so that other people can't go forward and look at it. You got to try and figure out which frame is this, what time is that.
Yeah,
I like to make it so that everybody can use it. We can work together to figure this stuff out. Or at
I
least try.
totally agree. That one of my pet peeves. The other one is like when you're looking at a soundbite of news and somebody cuts off the watermark for the news station. I can't stand that because then you can't go back and find the clip for yourself, find the context, and find the reporter, and find the da 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 da. That I see that a lot too. If anyone's watching, don't do that.
Yep.
So yeah, so that anyway, that was the reason for this presentation was to just show you guys why we're putting validity back into Linda Lee, and I thought that was a really good observation that I saw from Jeff H the other night. And Jeff, I can't find the first video. It's the one that we always look at from 12:24, I think it is.
Oh, go to what's on the top of the Linda? Yeah, the Linda. Just scroll. Wait, go. Wait, no, you were just above the footage observations. Okay, that footage, yeah, it should be on the end of that one, I think. There it is. Second from the right. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's difference mode.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir. That beer in your hand?
So it should
here we
be,
go.
yeah, there you go.
He's getting scared. Not to be that guy, but you shouldn't park anywhere here. It's only the park at the bottom part of the lot.
Okay, and before that plays, let me pause it. I have a couple things to talk to you about. The first one is I saw somebody over Tinsel says, how many different versions are there of the footage? Anyone have any idea? And Jeff, as far as I know, there's this one and then just the other cam. It's just different people have done different things with them, right?
Right. I mean, I've like on my channel, I've got 4 videos that are they're an hour long chunk. So 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5. So 4 chunks. And then this one is a separate clip that I guess Power Puffs had posted, and it's only for like, what is it, like 3 minutes long total, from 12:27. I mean, I've never, and now I know there's also footage that exists out there. I know I saw in Get a Clues, he likes to show his hard drive of files and stuff, and I saw he's got the 7 a.m. the following morning. I was hoping I might be able to get a copy of that, but I'm still working on that because I was very curious to see what the camera looks like during the daytime, because you get just a glimpse of it in color when those car headlights hit the camera, and then the camera thinks, oh, there's enough light now, I don't have to be in this night mode anymore, it must be daylight, switches to color. I thought that would just be good to have, just to see things in color during the daytime, get a better sense of what we're actually looking at. So if I get that, you'll be first to know. I'm working on it, but I don't
Nina,
know
what
that
do you
there's any.
I was just going to say.
Yeah, go ahead.
Nina, what do you think?
Well, Jeff, I have the 7 a.m. footage from Get a Clue.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
And
I've
it
got
does
that.
switch to daytime, right? It's in
Yeah,
color.
yes.
Oh, there you go. Do
Um,
you notice anything on it that reveals anything to you or makes you things that make you go you know?
yeah, it made me say on how he gets it. I mean, I mean, I was like, how did he get that? I mean, but no, I mean, it's just typical traffic and stuff like that. I think the reason that he was doing it is because he was the Jeep that leaves like what around 4:23 or something like that. He was
Right.
trying to see like if it comes back during the day or anything
Mm,
like that. And but and then I've also got the footage of he had the dumpster footage. What's the intersection? Is that Taylor, the Linda Lane?
right at the
Eh,
Taylor and Linda Lane at the far end. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got the footage from where the private driver goes by taking the girls, and
Right.
then 2 minutes later comes back by.
Yeah, I've got a video clip. Is it three passes? Three? You see three cars go by on that video clip
Yes,
total? Okay, yeah, that's the one I've got too. I would love to get more of that too, but yeah.
but the reason I paid attention to it is, and don't get me wrong, I know a lot of people didn't like that creator or had problems or whatever, but he had some really good info. I mean,
Hmm.
and so, but the 156 and then it comes right back through at 158. And I sat there and I thought, that's 2 minutes. So, I mean, everybody was like, oh, the private driver did it. And I'm like, okay, it's right there with 2 minutes. He dropped the girls out and he's right back by the intersection, you know. So
Well,
that's
no.
sort of,
Actually, maybe I'm thinking I might have a different clip with different time because with 12 gauge on one of his shows, we took it, didn't we? We lined up the clocks so that we watched the car go by, going down Taylor past the 1320 camera, and then we just sat there and waited in real time and talked it out. Like, okay, now he's probably at King right about now, making a left on King. Now he's probably making a left on Queen, going past the house. Maybe maybe slow.
Yeah.
And then as we're talking about it, and then it's like, okay, now here comes the headlights, and here comes one of the five passes of what I believe is the Elantra, on Linda Lane camera. So yeah, my time might I can't remember which time that was.
now
It's
the
three
one I'm
something.
talking about is the 1330.
Yeah. What we did, we looked at the 1320, we see it go by, and then we looked at the 1330 to wait to see it appear, and it did
Gotcha.
appear in the amount of time you'd expect it to drive down Taylor and make those two left turns.
And when you guys are saying that, it reminds me of something that I shared with Robert last night when we were talking about CCT footage. And I wanted to show this to you guys. Can you see my screen? I'm not looking at StreamYard. Okay. So what I'm showing you here, I'm going to go to the last picture because it demonstrates really well. It's how color appears when you have it changing in night mode, or when you have something change to the closed circuit cameras. So I thought this was the most impressive one because you can see those children's backpacks and how bright they are and with how much pattern. And when they're under the camera, look how they look like they're almost white or gray. And I'm just saying it's interesting how color appears in black and white. And when we keep seeing white cars, they actually could be maybe a pink car or a green car. Jeff, you could probably have something to add to this conversation since you do this professionally.
Yeah, I mean, I think that infrared or night vision stuff is kind of strange. It's not like just switching it to black and white. It's more than that. But I still do think it's operating somewhat like on a grayscale, so everything's just brightness levels. Although I was trying to find, I can find it real quick, but I don't have the camera. I mean, I bought one of those cameras that I believe is very similar to the Linda Lane camera. I think Kane, the landlord there, told me he thought his was a 522A. I bought a 520A, but I did do just a little tiny test of it in the room down here, and if I can find the clip, I could show you the actual color of my guitar and then the color that the camera represents. In that, but I'll find that here. But yeah, I don't know. But the thing is, I think because it's showing like brightness values, The thing is white, whether it's in black and white or whether it's in color. You know, white is just the absence of color most times. And so but you're right. It could be like a very bright pink. It's possible. But I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know. That's all I have to say about that.
Well, looking at those pictures on the top screen, it looks like they're dark at the top, and then they do change colors. You know, like one of them's really dark, and then it's a white shirt, white hoodie, um, like a white hat. You know, the hat color changes, but you're right. I mean, white is white, but what's the difference between a car color and a human being shirt color? You know what I mean? It's like, does it differentiate the same way, or does the car stay the same? Does the car color stay the same in night vision?
And even just to add on that, if you could read Twizzle's comment just while you're answering that, Jeff, and he says, would yellow show up as white in that camera?
Yeah, I mean, a very bright yellow, perhaps, but I don't know. I think because the moment you start to add color into it, it's not gonna reflect back the same amount of light as if it was white. I mean, I've got a reflector I use on photo shoots, and it's got a white side. It's got a white side, and then it's got a gold side. So if you want, just like with my little light here, if I wanted it, warmer. See, it's a little warmer now. I'd reflect the light into something gold, and it comes back visually. That color is an influence, and it's going to bring the brightness down, as well. Put it back on.
So also,
yes,
Jeff, do you think
possible.
that this camera that she's showing right here, do you think possibly it could have, like, when the night vision clicks on, do you think a light comes on at the same time? Like at the top, it would be a darker image, and then when the camera clicks on, a light underneath it shines on these people.
Yeah,
Do you get what I'm saying?
I think it does have some light that it casts out, so that because if it were like in pitch black, you need some kind of light.
Yeah.
So it's got to have some. Yeah, I would be lying if I said I'm an expert on that kind of
Yeah.
technology, but I know, like, if you look at remember there I think Lana was showing a video of police officers that visited the house next to the little house next to the murder house, and they were looking around. They tried to open the door, but you can see his uniform it did change the color very much. So but I think when it comes to white, I think for the most part, if it looks white, it probably is white. So
I mean, what I've noticed about most cameras is they do have that automatic light that comes on the moment motion is detected, and
yeah, see, this is the camera here that see, it's a Reolink camera. I believe this little thing there is a light for when it switches into night mode. So it's basically a lens, and then it switches into night mode with that. I've got to do more with this. I just haven't figured out exactly what's the best way to demonstrate something.
they got to do better with these night cameras, man. They need color and 4K and everything else. We need the Google cam on everybody's
And there's
property. You know what I mean?
that's the model
Man,
number of it.
that thing is amazing.
But 12, just to add to what you're saying, that is one thing you can do for your neighborhood. It's not just for you. Like, if you can afford or have the knowledge to put up some sort of surveillance, that's good for your community. So I agree
Yeah.
with your sentiments. People have
Because on that Google Maps, I mean, you can Google Earth, you can zoom in, and you can see a lot of stuff. It's very clear most of the time until you get close up, and then the pixels start to pixelate, just like any other camera. But it's interesting what you're showing right now.
Yeah, and I should probably take that down, and then I'll go back to Jeff's channel and continue our Linda Lean. I'm gonna skip forward, you guys. So we actually didn't finish playing the whole thing, but we just did the infamous 1224 stamp, and we're gonna actually skip forward to 2. So we're gonna do the 2 a.m., 2:42, and then we're gonna skip forward to 2:56. That particular time slot is almost, I think, 3 minutes long. So we're just gonna keep playing it. And then we're going to go back to the final one that Jeff was mentioning, which he says is the most popular on his channel, of course, which would be the 404 to 407 pass. Is that right, Jeff? There's 3 passes then, right? Something like that. But we'll get there.
Yeah, right in that range. Yeah, because the theory that I hold to, it really does rely on, seeing the car go past the Linda Lane camera at 407. Heading towards the back of the house. If you consider 412 being the last post from Xana on TikTok, and then at 4:21:01 a.m. I hear what sounds like a car trunk, and I've compared it to a friend's Elantra. I mean, not the most scientific thing, but they do sound the same. They definitely didn't sound like drastically different, because I'm all for using technology that we have to debunk as well as prove. So sounds the same to me, but doesn't prove. And then 4:21:19, I hear the car speeding off. So those are the 3 things. That's the range that it kind of, in my mind, I'm thinking this is when he went in, this is when he went out, and he went out in quite a hurry. And as we talked about with Daniel, that last pass, he passes by the Linda Lane camera 5 times. That last pass, he's clearly driving much faster than the other 4 passes. So, is that significant? I mean, I think so.
Oh wait, hold on, that one's on. Does anyone see sexual image? Okay, that's oopsie. That's a private chat. I thought that was a nice comment though. Lots of love exclusively out of creators. Appreciate all this. This is the one I meant to put up. Just give a shout out to my creators. I'm featuring today.
I know where there are some sexual images on the map. I mean, of Moscow.
What? Really?
Yes. It's over by the Exxon station in the A&W. If you zoom out, there's a cul-de-sac in it. It kind of makes a interesting image.
All right. Well, it's like you stare at the map long enough, you're gonna see something like the clouds, I guess. So.
Right.
Yeah, Jeff and I and Sarge were having fun with it one night.
Oh, don't bring me into that.
Come on, Jeff.
All right, I admit it. I was there. I witnessed.
Rose, if I may, does Jeff see hidden images overlays on the Linda Lane footage? Do you know what? And I'm wondering, are you saying Tinsel with other creators? Like for instance, Rolo is just the first one that comes to mind. The other thing is we've seen a lot of people doing overlays with the cars. So let's just focus on the 404. I'm sure you've seen the different overlays. Have you found one that you feel matches? I know you have several of them. If you want, I can just go to one that you have and just answer Tinsel's question.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, go to, if there's that one you could go to if you want. I mean, personally, I've seen a couple overlays. I think Gray Hughes did a good one. But I think if you look at Gray Hughes and the one I've got here, they're very similar. I mean, I think we're trying to, in essence, prove the same thing, that the shape of that, especially that side window, it matches perfectly to the shape of the Elantra.
Take a look here.
And this still frame that I used against it is a 2015 Elantra, but I think the side window, for the most part, is the same on 11 to 16 Elantras. And the fading in and the cutting in of the image, that's basically what I was doing as I was putting it together for myself. I'd like turn it on and off to see if it's lined up, if it's matching.
This is a good filter. I mean, it really is, Jeff, because you can see the the varying, the red, you can see it varying in shade. So you can actually see the outline of the, oops, I better stop that.
Yeah.
You can see the outline of the back rear window pretty well. Nina, are you, what are you thinking of this footage? Can you see that overlay well? Do you think that this is looking like an Elantra? It's about to come up again if you didn't catch it before. Well,
I've always
Well
said it was
dodged.
either an Elantra or the Genesis.
the Genesis. Yes, you showed me that yesterday. You know what? While she's bringing that up, I have it right here in Discord. I'm just going to show you guys the picture that Nina sent me yesterday. All right, let me bring up Discord. So this is the right? This is the one, Nina.
Yeah. I mean, because to me, it's got the same back window as the Elantra. It's got that little, the little sharp edge. And then the picture that I really thought of was the store photo, and I know it's a crappy photo, but the Genesis has the bigger headlights. That's like in the photo of the store photo, and that's what made me think of the Genesis.
I see. Yeah, no, I mean, I haven't seen the front of the Genesis, but that is a very similar back window too. I see that for sure.
I think when I look at it, a thing I'm looking for, like with this car right here we're looking at right now, the line goes along the bottom of the window is kind of straight, and then all of a sudden it's a
Right.
cut. It's almost like
Right.
somebody sliced a piece out of the steak to eat it, at an angle. Whereas like on the Elantra, it feels like the line is like it's sanded,
Right.
to a smooth curve upward. I don't know. Well, the other thing too is that, like, I guess maybe if you think about the light bulb camera at 1112 King Road, I mean, I believe that's where the PCA is getting its
Right.
info when it's talking about the times and the timestamps and that's mentioned in the PCA. And if they believe that is an Elantra, then I guess my mind doesn't start to go too far. Like, I know another creator says it's Chrysler 300. So I don't know. If I had the benefit of seeing the light bulb camera and say, okay, I see an Elantra, the light bulb camera, obviously an Elantra because it's a much better shot. No fences blocking it, no parked cars are blocking it, and it's heading in the direction of Linda Lane camera. And here it is, right at the time I would expect it to be. And I just don't see it magically turning into any other car other
Right.
than what you just saw. So now, granted, I haven't seen the 1112, King Road footage, but
The
law
only-
enforcement looking at it,
Yeah, the only reason, like I said, that I even brought up the Genesis was they were doing a deep dive into the surveillance video. I mean, the camera picture, and they were trying to match the larger headlights and stuff like that. But what I thought was interesting about this picture is if you look at the white truck, it's got the gray down at the bottom, just like the truck that passes the girls when they're walking.
Right.
And I thought, well, my gosh, there's both the vehicles right there. I mean, because
yeah.
I mean, because that
let me
truck,
ask
that
you a question. The back windshield or the back part of the hatchback, does it go all the way up? I mean, it's hard to tell. Does it turn into a sunroof? It looks like there's no separation from the beginning of the trunk area all the way up. Or am
oh
I
yeah,
seeing it wrong?
I definitely think that it's one of those that you can see through the top.
Yeah, like it's all connected. Man, that'd be
So you can look
expensive.
at the stars.
Right.
Yeah, that'd be expensive if you had to replace that.
Oh yeah,
But what do you see, Nina? Is it tinted or not tinted?
oh I definitely think that car is tinted.
Okay.
Yeah. I had a couple starred comments I just want to get to real quick. The first one is Dara said, Jeff, you've impressed me using and obtaining reference items. Do you recalibrate?
Yeah, I guess I have to show that in court, don't I? That I calibrated prior to my work, and then I calibrated, checked the calibration after. But
You did save your work, right, Jeff?
I did save my work. Yeah, actually, it's funny because there are times I used Adobe Premiere to do this, right? But there are times where I'm doing something simple, like somebody says, "Hey, can you just add an arrow onto the shot or something?" It's like I open up Premiere, I bring in the video, I add the arrow, I export a movie, I send it to them, and I just delete the project. It's like if I know I'm not going back to it, it's like what was needed, the final presentation is all that was needed. All the original elements that made up that presentation are still there and they're still intact. It's called non-destructive editing. That's what we with video editing, nonlinear video editing in Adobe Premiere. It's non-destructive. You're making new video clips from other video clips, but you're not harming the original clips. So I think it's very similar to that. And I can't help but wonder if Maury, I don't know if he just didn't know the software as well as maybe he should have. Maybe there's some embarrassment factor there, or maybe he was just asked to go use this complex software to do a simple task. And in that case, it's like, yeah, I did my simple task. I made the image for you. It's not that complex. It's like I dragged 5 things over and then, exported it, and now it's, felt no need to. Now, if I'm doing a Adobe Premiere project that I'm working on for like 3 days straight, you better believe I'm saving it, and I'm saving a backup of it, and it's in the cloud. So, definitely that's a different type of situation.
Anyway,
Now,
I appreciate you answering that. Sorry, Nina.
I don't know if y'all noticed or not, but the BMW that she was just showing, I don't know if anybody noticed that there is a white BMW SUV in the body cam of Kohberger. The night that all that happened in the parking lot, there's the exact vehicle sitting there.
Oh, the one that's seen at the
Seen that.
dumpster
I've never
Yeah.
seen
model.
Yeah. Yeah, it's in the police body cam. When the police, have y'all seen the body cam?
From Kopaka?
Not-
Yeah.
Just
Okay,
some,
you know
a little
where-
bit, not much.
He walks out and he gets everything out of the trunk and he's walking back. When he walks back around the building, there's the white BMW SUV.
Well, that's an interesting coincidence. Thanks for noting that. Definitely noted. Yeah.
It's really tough, isn't it, with the vehicles that are seen elsewhere at other times. It's like what I'm hoping the prosecution can show is that this car they see it on the light bulb camera, they see it go past Linda Lane, they know the murder happened while it hasn't left yet, it's still in this dead end cul-de-sac of an area. If you think about it like that,
Yep.
It hasn't left yet. Now we know at this time the unalivings we're pretty sure happened from the evidence there. And now when it does leave, it leaves quickly. Now do not lose it from your sight best you can. It's like catch it on the next camera.
Right.
There it is. Now it's coming up with Lenta. Okay, we still got it. It's still, and the problem is that moment where, okay, we've lost it now for like 15 minutes. So now the next car that we see that looks like it's possible. It's like, wait, that might not be the same car. What do we have to go on to say, yes, it is the same car? I mean, lacking a license plate, is that the best? That might be the best you have. But if they do have, like, it times out, just like when you watch a Macy's Day Parade, you see Snoopy, the big inflated Snoopy. He's at 47th Street. The next time, now he's at 46th Street.
Yep.
And now I'm looking at him at 44th. I don't know if it's the same one. Dude, of course it's the same one. You just saw him at 47th Street, and now he's at 44th Street. How many Snoopies are there at this time of night? They're,
Right.
in this parade.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, Kiki,
And I
can
guess that's
show-
the reason
can I
I've
show
always
a
stuck with the
picture?
Elantra.
Can I show a picture from the 1122 King Road house?
Of course.
I know it's off topic with Linda Lane, but the picture that I'm gonna show is Bethany's room, like the door handle.
Oh.
And I found this the other day. Let's see. And I thought it was interesting because I was wondering if all their door handles look like that. If they all had the inside mechanism like that, and how difficult it would be to actually break one of those trying to get into a room. Because we've never really been told that the door was open. We've had a lot of assumption that the doors were open and whoever the perpetrator just walked in. But look at that lock. It looked kind of sturdy, doesn't it? Doesn't
Yeah.
look like something that you'd be able to pick, stick a credit card through, anything like that. So if that
Is
lock
that the
was,
inside of the front door? Is that what that is?
no, that's the inside of Bethany's room.
Oh, okay. Because I know on the front door they've got. I think it's made by Schlage. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
And I actually have a looking up the model number, but I wonder if it's a Schlage with like it's got 10 numbered. It's a numbered keypad, and it locks itself after a few minutes after you close it. I think it's all got all kinds of features, but if there's one on the front door, it does make me wonder if because I know if I'm going to Home Depot, I might just buy all the same locks so I know how to install it on multiple doors.
Yeah, I mean, I was just wondering what this picture got me to thinking, because it's all about cerebral thought, It's about, okay, if this door has one like this, chances are, like you just said, all the other doors had one like that. And since we've never been told if the other doors where the victims were closed or locked, could the individual have busted this lock? Would you had to have busted it? I mean, unless you knew the code, right? I'm just speculating here,
Yeah.
that is just food
I,
for
I
thought.
often wondered if the locks on the inside of the house weren't more for like when they like would they leave their doors unlocked while they're there and maybe only lock them if they were leaving and there was like a wild party there, so just so that their stuff didn't get stolen or messed with or nobody did anything kinky in their room while they're gone. I
Mark,
wondered
that's a
what
TV.
the
Oh, he was saying can't be Bethany's room. It has a window to the left. That's the TV to the left of this picture. It's the door and
yeah.
then the TV.
Now, see, with those kind of locks, that's the reason that in one of my videos I talked about that if it had the automated locks in Xana's room, that's how the door could have been locked. Is if the door was shut after he left or something like that, then that's the
Hmm.
reason they couldn't get in is because it just locked behind him. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Hmm.
because with it being automated, it would automatically lock.
Right. I
Yeah,
mean,
if it
that's
is the
that's
same.
all I was thinking was, if all the locks were the same, how difficult would it be to get into that room, and how much time would it take to get into that room?
I'm thinking too, if that lock is good enough, if it's the same inside and outside, if it's good enough for the outside to keep the outside world from coming in, and you're putting it on your bedroom door, then I imagine it's a pretty good lock. I don't know if you want to share this screen for just a moment, Kiki. This is the same. This is the. Wait, let me turn the sound down. This guy did a little, tutorial on how he installed, his lock. So that's a Schlage, whatever model it is. But I looked it up. There's a good shot of the wreath on the front of the door, and it made it very obvious which model Schlage, if I'm pronouncing that right, what kind of lock that is. I think there was a moment okay, this might be the model number on the when he shows the instruction manual. Where is it? Where is it? Oh. Back. Come on. Well, it's. I'll look it up. I'll find it later. I'll type it in the chat.
I think this is an interesting segment. Like I actually think I could have brought some things to the table. This is really interesting, 12. I'm glad you brought it up. I mean, while we're talking, I mean, if we just want to rattle off what we do know about the lock, I mean, this is the one allegedly that Xana's father had gone on the record saying that he replaced recently, within a week of the crime, a functioning lock. Now, I did see this comment over here from Patrick, basically saying almost any lock can be picked with a credit card. It has to do with blah, blah, blah. So yeah, locks can be picked, but in the heat of the moment, when you only have 15 minutes, if all these types of locks are on the door, mean, how long would that take for somebody to fiddle in, especially if you have protective stuff on your hands and you're shaking, or I don't know. It's so many unanswered questions.
Yeah.
We should know though. I mean, if somebody got into the room, it's going to show breaking and entering on a lock like that. Sorry, Jeff, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you didn't. This I think is it. FE 575 or 595. I think that's the one. But if you're interested in this video at all, title should be what, if you search for that on YouTube, I think you'd find this guy's
That's
video.
a pretty sturdy lock, isn't it, Jeff?
I'm planning on getting one. Yeah, I'm thinking it's
it
pretty
looks
sturdy.
it looks pretty sturdy. It's not. It doesn't look like something that you'd be able to just put your shoulder into the door and get
Right.
into, unless that house would just made of cardboard. You know what I'm saying?
The problem it does open up though is that for younger people, I mean, I would never be giving my code out to a lot of people, or they'd
Right.
have their own code. They might have their own code so that if they did do something nefarious, like you'd be able to track from the device. It's like, hey, I know who it is because they used the code I gave them. But if you're
that's a
just
great
using
point.
one code,
That's a great point, because who knew the code for these girls' rooms? Like, did they only give it to family? Did they only give it to close friends? Did they give it to boyfriends? Who had the codes? And that's a
Right.
trail right there in itself.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Great point, Jeff. Great point.
That is a really good point.
no, it's only great if I knew I was making a great point. I didn't know I was.
Well, I mean, just
Accidentally, great point, Jeff.
just like when we get to talking, we sometimes
Yeah.
figure some things out that we really didn't even understand we knew. Just
Yeah, it's oftentimes 12 is saying, did you hear what you just said, Jeff? I was like, what? What did I say?
What did you hear? What you said?
It's like, 12, did you just hear what you said? That was brilliant. What did I say? Play that back.
Yeah.
Tell the court reporter to play it back for you.
Live stream logic. Broken clocks only is right even twice a day. So
yeah, exactly.
Right. That's right.
I had a couple of interesting comments I wanted. Oops, I didn't mean to stop sharing screen. Let me bring that back up.
Oh, that was me. I closed that.
Oh, you closed it. Sorry.
Yeah.
So Jeff 21 said when we talk about the schlag, so it says the E is silent. So that's how most say it. Schlag. Schlag. I think that's right.
Sounds like a greeting. Shala.
And then this is from this question says, does that lock auto lock after closing the door once you're in it? And that's our understanding, is that was the point of these locks, was to make sure they were always locked, because of your next comment where you said sometimes young college kids can be fairly careless about locking the doors. Of course. And I think that's probably part of the logic behind it. It was the smartest thing. No losing your keys, no losing your key fob, no spare key in a little rock under the door, punch pad.
I mean, think about the hotel locks. Have you ever locked yourself out of your hotel room? It's pretty much the same premise. You shut the door, the door is going to lock. If you don't have the key, you gotta have the key in order. Or I locked myself out of my condo and I forgot the keypad because it was the first time going there. And you're just frantic. You can't push it in. You can't break it. You know what I mean? It's keypad, and it's hard to get into that room, without some kind of force.
Absolutely. And then installing a lock like that assures that if somebody did want to break in the house, they're going to have to break down the door. I mean, you have to, it's put in a way that you can just pull it out. I don't know. Not that was ever a debate in here. And then just a couple other ones I wanted to bring up that I thought were really good, because there's so many great comments. And I thought that I just addressed this one because, Carla, you've left a few comments that were interesting in the live chat. And this one, I wanted to I think I can express the sentiments of everyone on panel, which is when you say the point is, do you want to send BK to the electric chair with timestamps and missing footage, cropped and messed up? And I think that all of us on this panel, I don't want to speak for you guys, but I know for me, like my co-producer said the other day, if somebody was to put a gun to my head right now and say, is BK innocent or guilty? I would say innocent, because that's our system. It's innocent until proven guilty. There has to be proof without a reasonable doubt proven. But we haven't even made it to trial, so we don't really know how this is going to be presented to us or what's being seen. So no one on this panel believes like that. If that's what you
Right.
how we were
Right.
talking, I just thought it'd be worth it to clear that up.
I think I like to think of it too. It's like, you've got the football game Sunday and you got people talking about it on Friday, Saturday. We're speculating. We have minimal information. We know what the coach is doing, what he did last game. We got details. We know what the upcoming weather might be. There's stuff so we're just speculating. And it, and those people talking about the game, they have no effect on the score, the final score. They have no effect on anything of the game. It's just talking about it. It's just that's what we do in the public. We speculate, and and clearly, as we see too, just like with Democrats and Republicans, we have, he's guilty, he's innocent. I guess it's just our human nature. 12 gauge would probably know more about what's going on with our human nature in this, but yeah, as far as I'm concerned, we're just talking about it. And the thing is like I could sit here, like when Twizzle and I talk, I think Twizzle is great. I told Twizzle, like, if there was anyone that could change my mind on something with the way that they're just having conversation with me, it would be him. Because it's always cordial, it's friendly, it's respectful. We have a difference of opinion and we treat each other that way. And you know what? If you're going to change somebody's mind, that's the way to do it. Now, it hasn't happened yet. I'll let you know if Twizzle does. But that's the way to do it. So I commend Twizzle on that. And, Twizzle, and that's the thing. Twizzle believes in what he believes, and he believes enough that he doesn't have to raise his voice or say, "What are you, stupid, Jeff?" I mean, do you really think that? Is that really, So I really appreciate that the respect, and I tried my best to give back the same to everybody. All like, what do you say in 12 in your chats? All opinions are welcome. It's just keep respectful. Don't make it personal.
Absolutely.
Yeah, everybody's opinion is valid.
Valid. Yep.
Everybody's opinion is valid.
And Nina, I thought did you want to give your opinion on that comment too about
Oh,
condemning
yeah,
without the evidence?
definitely. Because, I mean, I'll be the first one to say that, the biggest thing is justice for Maddie, Kaylee, Xana, and Ethan. But I'll be the first one to say that also includes Kohberger. Because if he didn't do it,
Right.
of course I want justice for him. But, to me, the number one justice is to the 4 victims and their families. And that's where I think a lot of people lose focus. And the thing about it is, just like Jeff said, I know that it's not a football game, but what impact are we going to have on the trial? We're not going to have an impact on the trial. I have no conceived notions that I have any impact on a trial, and so of course, I mean, I guess, I don't take offense to it because there's a lot of people that think they do have an impact, but I don't have a big enough head to think that, and just because we talk about it and discuss it, I think that in all of our hearts is always for the 4 victims.
Right.
Yeah.
I think we have a minimal impact on the YouTube community, like on each other. It's like it shifts this way, shifts that way. Like I'll hear somebody say something, it's like, oh, that's a very unique take, and then I'll go over here and it's like, oh, that's worded exactly the same way. It's getting that notion or that opinion is getting around and it's resonating and it goes back and forth, and so there's probably some influence in the YouTube community, but
And that's how we end up in rabbit holes.
Right. But there's nothing wrong when somebody says, "What do you think?" The answer that comes out of your mouth shouldn't be something that they shouldn't be ready to, like, you got pitchforks ready to go. What do you think? I'm ready. If you say Kohberger's guilty, I'm on you. It's like, really? I'm just telling you. You asked me what did I think. I thought you meant you really wanted to know what I think.
Yeah, you've been on the panel, Jeff, where I've had a couple people attacking me relentlessly in the chat when I first started on this, going back and forth with me, and, call that G word, not OG, but, G word. And,
looks like guitar.
Yeah, guitar. Yeah, exactly.
Guitar.
Exactly.
You play the guitar.
Yeah,
Hey,
guitar.
Kiki, it was sort of last notice when I found out, so I'm going to have to go.
Oh, it was so sweet of you to be up here. We've already been on almost an hour and 40 minutes. That's so cool of you to come on last minute, Nina. It's been a pleasure. And Nina, will you just tell everyone your channel handle? I could type it in too, but just so people can go check out your channel. She just got up to enough subscribers to stream, and she's just looking for a little watch time. She's got some great videos out. So if you just want to tell them where they can find you, Nina, that'd be great.
Heck, I guess it's YouTube. Nina _Kelly is just, but
Here, it's spelled a little differently. I'll spell it out for them so they can take a look here. So that's NENA_KELLYE, like Kanye.
yeah. I don't know why my mama put an E on my name.
Yeah, go check out Nina's channel. Nina, what's your theme of your videos? One more time.
Oh, well, rabbit holes.
Rabbit holes, I like it.
I mean, right now it's Sebastian and Idaho4. And then, of course, telling my son's story.
Mm-hmm.
There you
So,
are. I think
On our live stream to talk about those things anytime. So please come back sometimes.
I just
Thank
subscribed
you.
to you, Nina, too. I thought I'd already
thank you.
subscribed. Sorry about
Appreciate
that.
you, Nina.
And yeah, I mean, I'm being like a panel hoochie trying to get my name out there. So, any panels, I'm available. I need my name out there.
Panel hoochie. That's hilarious.
Panel hoochie.
Good
Thank
stuff comes out
y'all.
of
And
Alabama.
the-
You're proof.
That's right. That we hoochies in Alabama.
Awesome.
So y'all have been wonderful, and I always enjoy coming up.
Oh, well, sweet.
Enjoy hearing you, Nina. You be
Yeah,
careful.
You
out there.
added great stuff, Nina. I appreciate you on here.
Thank you. I'll send that footage to you, Jeff.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, definitely. Thank you. You got my email address and how to get it to me.
Oh no, I'll just have to
I think if you-
figure out a way to get it to you.
If you look at oh wait, I can put it in the back chat. I don't want to share it.
Hey,
With
put it in a bottle and throw it in the ocean. It'll get to it.
That'll work. I'll go throw it in the Gulf.
Here you go. I just put it in the.
Everyone else.
I put it in the private chats for you, so you can send it to me there.
Okay. All right. Thank y'all.
Yeah. Sure. Thank you.
Bye, Nina. Take care. See.
Oh, you see, if I'd have put my email address, and Rolo would be emailing me every day. I see he just arrived.
Oh, Rolo's here.
Hey, Rolo.
Rolo, you're a little bit late. We've already gone on. Good morning. Thank you for showing up, Rolo. I'm just joking with you. There was one other. Yeah, so I think that's all that there was. This is so untimely, but I'm just going to bring it up because I think it is a good summary of what Twiz is saying the argument is. Now, we understand there are lots of different routes, and we even saw recently when Jeff, I saw when you were on Daniel's show, showed it to me, he showed a route where there's like no cameras where you could leave Moscow. So, but the point the defense is trying to make is summarized in this comment by Twiz. No footage leaving Moscow, no footage entering Moscow. How did he get there? And we are going to have that shown to us at trial because it's been told that it's going to be provided to us. So we'll have to see. And hopefully it's, as Sai said, he can fix, not hopefully, but it says that Sai can fix what he's doing. And I think that kind of goes with another comment that somebody said, which is, I think it was you, Twiz, you just don't want a fifth victim. Here it is. So at this point, I think it's more important not to create a fifth victim in family. And I think that we all agree with that. And it's nice when we just come right out and say it. And maybe we should say it more often when we're streaming, that with speculation, we're still remaining neutral. And so
Yeah.
Well,
It's not like in the Bryan laundry case. I mean, none of us that I know of are on the front lawn of the laundry's house, yelling at them and stuff like that. I think.
what are you doing?
What?
Are you referring to you're not referring to, maybe you don't know the YouTube history of Bryan Laundry's front yard.
What's that?
Let's
What do
just
you mean?
hope you don't. Okay. He didn't mean anything by that.
What? Who? Me?
I'm not telling you who was on Bryan Laundry's front yard, but don't bring any drama.
Oh, the YouTube. Well, I mean, and not that the. Well, the one. Okay, let me say it this way: the one I'm thinking of is no longer on YouTube. So how about that? That's a
Okay.
safe one to. How about I just thinking of that person?
Okay, that's good. Thank you for clearing
But I
that
mean,
up.
because there's boots on the ground that's investigative, and there's boots on the ground that's like
No, no.
pitchfork.
No, not JLR. I wouldn't have any problem seeing that.
I like JLR. Yeah.
I'll tell you, he's brought a lot of content.
This is how much I like JLR. See, I got his coffee mug. I got two of them. I got a red one too.
Where is your Swamp Rose coffee? Oh yeah, that's right. My shop is taken down. Shop is back.
I even have a Crime Circus too.
Is that a hookah?
Man, I feel out of the
It's
loop here. I
no,
got to
it's just-
give me a 12 gauge cup then.
You do.
My
I'll
cup
buy
says
it.
you are my sunshine. CVS special. I got it for the
Drink
kids.
more Celsius.
And I
This
have a
is
bunch of
brought to
Rick.
you by 12 gauge.
When the,
This is Rick Beato's. Study those. That's for your guitar education. There, 12 gauge. That's Rick Beato's coffee mug.
That's
They'll all
5
send you a little check, Kiki. Don't worry.
minutes. That's 5 minutes of your
publicity.
life you'll never get back. I'm glad we could all break that down for you. Yeah, I mean, really, roll those comments down. Hold on. Howdy, Swampers. What a cool name.
Yeah, Swampers.
Swampers. Good job, John. Thank you. I appreciate
Swampers, yeah.
that. Oh my gosh. I could sit and read the comments all day because they're so entertaining. I love you guys so much. And, I think that's pretty much. Well, let me take down Nina's banner too. That's pretty much all I wanted to live stream today. I really appreciate you two jumping on last minute. I definitely owe you one. And I cannot figure out how to take this banner down. Hold on. And I'll have to jump on you guys' channel sometime. So just in this last few minutes, start with you, 12. What do you have coming up this week or this weekend for your channel?
Well, tomorrow it's just the Sunday kind of meditation type, just a spiritual kind of show that I do every Sunday. And then next week I'm going to continue doing the profiling on Bryan Kohberger. I'm going to continue doing that. And that's about it that I know of. I mean, usually something comes up out of the blue and I just hop on the live and start presenting. I really don't have the mindset to plan in advance. I'm very fly by the seat of my pants type guy,
That's good that you have that talent that you can just extemporaneously start speaking on a subject.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time I don't even take notes. I just sit there and just talk. I don't, whatever I'm presenting, I can just look at it and just, start presenting whatever I want it, whatever direction I want to go. So it's just the therapist in me, that's all that is.
Dara just wanting to know, what is your spiritual talk?
Well, it's basically where I go in and, I have an open panel if somebody's going through some stuff or, we're listening to calming music and we're talking positive and, I'm giving motivation and hope pretty much to anybody that needs it, like after a long week, we try to get in there and we try to just open up and kind of, I mean, I wouldn't call it church, but just something very, very healing, something that has nothing to do with true crime, has nothing to do with anything really other than focusing on the people that are in chat and trying to give them hope and give them the opportunity to share any kind of situation that they've been dealing with that they might need assistance from any other chatters or even myself, it's just very hopeful kind of live
Oh,
stream.
Kiki, I think it's got two L's in Phillips. I think.
I didn't want to interrupt. Yeah, tell me how to fix this banner. So the folks were asking how to find you. That's
Well,
all.
just put 12 gauge investigative because that's the new name for it.
Oh
So.
yeah. Actually, last Sunday, for me, 12 gauge, your Sunday show felt like a reset. I think it's great to have just a reset on your. I like to call it stinking thinking because you're just living, you're working, you're living, you're working, you're sleeping, you're eating, and just to have a nice reset, like look at things this way. Take like one of the best phrases. It comes from a kid's video. I love it. A thankful heart is a happy heart. I'm glad for what I have. That's an easy way to start. I mean, it's good enough for kids, and it works for me still as an adult, and always will.
Of course.
It's a reset to get you. Yeah. So I'll be checking you out Sunday, definitely.
And guys, just so you know that I'm just not in there spewing garbage. I've been a therapist for 20 years, so I can take people in a guided imagery, things of that nature, and I might do that tomorrow because I have a great one that I've always done, and it's easy to do. So if you
There's our band name right there.
yeah, the
We're
respectful
going on. We're
guilters.
going
There
on
you
the road.
go. Rolo.
Thanks for listening.
So if you guys wanna drop by, please do that. If not, hope to see you around sometime. Thank you so much, Kiki, for allowing me on your panel.
Thank you.
The respectful guilter.
Yeah.
Gonna get a tattoo right here on my arm that says that.
And I tell you what, before I got the diabetes, man, I was all about the Rolos. Those caramel chocolates are awesome. Every time I see Rolo, I'll be like, oh man, I'm trying to quit, Rolo. What are you doing to me, man?
Well, I don't think that's how he meant it when he made his name, but that was cute, Jeff.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys. Hey, Jeff, you have an awesome evening, brother. And Kiki, thank you so much for
You're welcome.
allowing me on your panel again. Feel free to drop by. I do know how to work the wrench thing now. So if you want a wrench, just let me know.
Sir,
Okay.
be my wrench.
All right.
And I will stop by. I do have some training also in therapy, mainly talk therapy, and it was training that I received strictly for YouTube because before I did my true crime channel, my ASMR channel was, we put it under the genre of ASMR, but it was a lot more than that. And we did, so I'm trained in meditation and hypnosis, and I use it in my scripts and everything. And so anyway, I'd be happy to, maybe we should come up with something where we can collaborate sometime because I have wonderful ways to release trauma with talk therapy. Anyway, I'll tell you more about it, but maybe in the future, I'm knowing that he's doing meditation on Sundays. I certainly would love to collaborate with you. I have a lot in that department to offer the audience too.
That sounds awesome. 12 p.m. Central tomorrow.
Yep. And also, Christy dropped a link in the chat. So aside from following his handle, if you're in the live chat, you can just pop over there and subscribe to 12 real quick. And he puts out a ton of content. It's a great person to subscribe to because he's always got something fresh every day. So
So Kiki, when you're doing ASMR, were you doing like stuff like this, like,
I was in, okay. I was in the ultra specific niche. No. I'm in the ultra specific Reiki ASMR niche. So no, we didn't do that. We do, well, I guess I do. I would layer sounds sometimes, but it's interesting. There's all different types of ASMR. So there's like visual ASMR, there's sound, there's vocal. And ASMR is the most Googled, most YouTubed term. It's actually the most popular search term. So it's it's the largest thing on YouTube. So there's all these other segments to it. It's like its own, and once you start looking into it, you'll see how vast it is. So I don't know how to answer that question.
Well, you know what I always say? Maestro, cue the music. I'm out of here, guys.
Hi, 12.
See you at 12 gauge.
All right. And
Yeah, I better go too. I was supposed to pick up my son at work 8 minutes ago.
I have really bad timing with you. Where's your, hold on, let me just find your handle on your way out. Sorry.
It's under my name on my picture there. Yeah, there you go.
Not anymore. Well, I have yours is one of the first handles because you've been on my show for so long, Jeff. So
yeah, you always had a great show. Yeah, I appreciate being on. I was so looking forward to this. I was hoping like nothing, because we have the grandkids over here this weekend. I was hoping like nothing was gonna get in the way that I wouldn't be able to do it. And it's like I saw everything lining up. Even that I got to pick up my son at 1:00. It's like, okay, this is perfect. Nothing's happening right now, and there's the end. This should work.
Oh,
And,
don't blame it. Don't blame it on me, please.
no, yeah, he's gonna say that Swamp Rose, man.
It was a swamper.
Yeah, the Swamper. Ladies and gentlemen, the Swampers featuring the Guilters.
The
The opening act.
respectful guilters, and
The
I'm
respectful
not.
Guilters.
I'm not a guilter. First, I'm going to say that. But,
People are gonna have T-shirts that says RG, respectful Guilters.
and
So
so Jeff is not only a guitarist, like his handle says, but he's also a photographer. So he has not only remastered but done a lot of enhanced video. Everything we looked at for Linda Lane today was off of Jeff's channel. So please go visit Jeff.
thank you, Kiki. Thank you. Now
So,
put
and
it there for y'all to use it. If you got a YouTube show yourself, use it. You don't even have to ask. I'm not. It's all there to help the cause. Somebody might have put two and two together and come up with something that we hadn't thought of. So, and if that uses the stuff I put on my channel, that's awesome. I feel great about that. So,
Thanks, Jeff. Well, go get your son, and I've enjoyed having you on the live stream today. Please don't be a stranger, and pop up and come visit us again sometime. And if you ever do a live on your channel,
one of these days, I'm gonna put Rolo's gonna be my co-host on there too. How about that? I think that would be a good first show. Yeah. No comment. Wait, say no comment. I'm still thinking it through.
There's a list of really you can come on, but there's a list of banned words in both English and Spanish on my live stream.
I'm gonna have a little button. Beep, beep. You mother beep.
Yeah,
so,
Kiki's
all right. All right, let me get out of here. All right, thanks again, Kiki. Thanks everybody. Good to see everybody. All my friends are here. I love this. All right, have a great day.
You too. And take that comment down. And with that, just get my screen ready. So I know you can be anywhere on this Saturday. Oh, let me take this comment down. And let me take this banner down. Hold on. So I know you can be anywhere today. So I am so happy and lucky that you chose to be here with me and my guests. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the interactive chat. Your comments honestly make the live stream what it is. I mean, they really give us energy and they give us conversation. So it was a great live chat today, and I just really thank you for it. And I have a little outro I'm going to play for you. I have a song and just some pictures of our podcast and where we are at this point. So I hope you have a blessed weekend and a blessed Saturday, and I will see you next time.